What up, what up, what up, what up? Say the God man, welcome to Growing Pains. Today is July 5th, 2018. We're reading the Daily Stoic 366 Meditations on Wisdom, Perseverance, and the Art of Living by Ryan Holiday and Hanselman. I hope you had a beautiful, wonderful 4th of July. I hope you didn't get drunk and get pulled over. I hope you were safe and responsible, caught an Uber or a Lyft home, or if you lit illegal fireworks, I hope you did so without getting fined or found by the po-po, because fuck them. Right? Let's have fun in Oregon. Let's not set fires to forests, though, or falls. That's a bad idea. Be responsible, kids. That's the moral of this story. So today is July 5th, and the passage was called "No One Said It Would Be Easy." And something I don't want to do every time I do one of these videos is read the whole passage for you guys. And the reason is because I really want to encourage you to go buy the book and get this wisdom and this knowledge firsthand and read along and participate, not just do the audio book like, oh, wow, that was really cool. I very genuinely believe that reading is something that we need to hold on to in this culture and continue to support and promote the importance of reading and being self-taught and self-sufficient. Because honestly, Google cannot give you these kind of jewels. You got to get these from a book, to be honest. So what stood out to me today was this passage by Ryan Holiday after, I think it was an opening from Seneca. And it says, if good was easy, everyone would do it. And if doing bad wasn't tempting or attractive, nobody would do it. The same goes for your duty if anyone could do it. It would have been assigned to someone else, but instead it was assigned to you. I think that's incredible. And it's been something I've been thinking about that's been percolating my brain for a while now, is the fact that you might not be special, but you are unique. In a population that's continuing to grow over 6.5 billion people, there's still only one you. You are the only person with your identity, your experiences, your skill set. And there's something about that I believe is very unique, that only you can accomplish something in the way that you can do it. I don't think anything is new. I don't think that when I break into radio, it will be anything new, but I do believe that they've never had an A.R. on the radio, and what I bring to radio will be very unique, and I'm willing to humble myself and work hard to get there. So that's just kind of the first thought that came. The second one was it not just focusing on the present, but it took me back to a time where I was really focused on magnifying my effort of work, even though it wasn't easy. So I want to say 2-3 years ago, I'm coming back from Las Vegas. Nick Ryans had hosted the first Fit Ranks World Conference. It was amazing. It was credible. It was the second time I'd been out of the state that year. I think at the time I was like 24. Yeah, I think 24. And it was such a surreal experience to me to have the hunger, the desire, and the work ethic that I could go to Las Vegas after going to North Carolina and Oklahoma, that I really felt like I was, big baller, getting bigger on them. But when I came home after being really filled up, really amped, really motivated, my homeboy Joey hits me up. He goes, bro. I was like, what's up? He goes, you gotta check out this book. I was like, what's the book? He goes, The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. It's amazing. Joey's like this, I'm gonna be really nice, Joey. 5'2", like Italian dude who's just got incredible energy. I love my brother. So he's all hyped up on the phone, and like I'm always just me being like calm and being like, hey, bro, I wish I had your energy level. But he's on the phone, and he's you gotta check out this book, bro. It's amazing. It changed my life. It's just something you gotta check out. I was like, all right, fam. Like I got an Audible membership. I don't see why I'm not gonna use my 1 free credit for this. And essentially, Grant Cardone he's the author of the 10X Rule, Be Obsessed or Be Average More. He holds a world conference that's pretty incredible. Just a very inspiring, high energy dude. Once I heard him talk, it was very easy to see why Joey liked him. They seem to have a lot in common from a distance. But I'm like listening to him, and he's just talking all this game about, how he goes from being, basically a useless drug dealer or a useless addict, I think alcohol and maybe some narcotics, to really diving into his career as a salesman at a car dealership and building up to this $400 million empire. And he had this saying, success is your duty and obligation. And I remember it's like, wow, that's a powerful punchline. That's very marketable. But the fact is that I think it does something very transformative when it gives you the responsibility to be successful, because we'll talk about how, we have a duty and an obligation to our family, to our friends, to our social events, to work, but we won't necessarily say that we have a duty and an obligation to ourself to do our unique assignment in the way that only we can do it. We'll continue to put that on the back burner and procrastinate, make excuses. So this was really refreshing to kind of go back and like get that energy and be like, ooh, I'm feeling the juices now. And it got me super excited to work hard. And it wasn't unique at the time, but trying to figure out what to do in your business when you don't necessarily have appointments and you don't necessarily have a product to build can be really mind-boggling and it gives me a shit ton of anxiety. Fuck it. But what made it worth it was I was busting my ass, still working anywhere from 16 to 18-hour days. But I was watching my business grow. So I felt very connected to my purpose. I felt very connected to the service I was giving people. And I was just super excited every day to wake up and discipline myself to be great. And I think that's a really hard thing to do. And I do think that we as people, or at least I myself, look for some type of people definitely do. Look for an external reward for the hard work we put in. We're used to now exchanging work for some form of compensation. And when you're not necessarily getting that, I think it can be very difficult to maintain that energy and that effort. And you just got to persevere and stay strong. So the question from today's journal was, am I doing the honorable thing? So I have to ask myself, am I doing the honorable thing? And the answer is, I believe so. And the reason I believe so is when I stumbled across psychology and philosophy, the end of my sophomore trimester, I was in psychology. My second trimester as a junior, I was in philosophy. And there was something very compelling about the material that I read. For those of you who don't know, I graduated with a 1.8. I was a terrible student in terms of doing the work. Very intelligent, but a terrible, rebellious student who just didn't want to do the work and really had a hard time focusing. Like, I learned really quickly, so I didn't need the same repetition as my peers. So I would just tune out and be like, bro, I did like 30 of these questions in class. I definitely don't need 2 hours of homework for it. That was my logic at the time. Now I would do it just because it's like, discipline yourself to take orders better. But I digress. When I was being exposed to these things, something began to click in me that was very different from what I'd experienced during my other time as a student in school, which was I actually wanted to do the work. I really wanted to immerse myself in these two fields of asking, why do these things work? Or why are things happening this way? How do I live life? And then the study of the actual functions of the way that our brains work and how that interacts with our personality and our behaviors. I didn't think that there could be anything more important than trying to figure out myself. And I didn't necessarily have the ability to articulate that when I was younger. But now at this age, it's like, oh shit, like I've been on this journey for like a decade, like 16, 17. I started this process of figuring out, who am I? Who is AR? What does he like? Does he have preferences and expectations? Are those preferences and expectations holding him back or pushing him forward? And to actually be able to like take a step back and ask yourself objective questions, I think has really given me the platform and the ability to get to this point where it's like, I'm not gonna waste time doing something for somebody else that doesn't improve myself, because I can't give the best of myself to the people that I love and care about if I'm in the process of being upset because this is what you're supposed to do. And I very much so have tried to share that message, and I work every day to refine it so that more and more people can receive it, because I genuinely want to help you unlock your best life. And I believe the best way to do that is to challenge you to unlock your best self. And I think that's a very honorable thing. I think it's also very scary in a world that seems to function on fear and the finite resource that we have, that I'm trying to push people to be better, even though that goes against the logic that their success could threaten or take away from me. And I think that's selfless, which sounds super fucking arrogant. So I guess I'm just going to say selfless. But I do feel honorable, and I do like me, and I am very much so enjoying this process of continuing to open up about psychology and philosophy and doing that in an entertaining way. But what I would really like to know at this point in time is, are you doing the honorable thing? Do you agree with me or do you disagree with me? Type a comment below. If you like it, please give me a reaction so I can stay relevant and I can share this with people. That would absolutely make my day. If you really want to share the platform with people, share it. I'd ask me to make it public. I'd love to get, more people involved in these conversations. And if you're interested in joining me in my brand of bullshit, because I like my brand of bullshit, subscribe, bro. And we will continue hitting the ground and breaking new levels for all of us. All right? Now go be smart. Go, 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 go.